Football seasons are often like movies, made up of 3 acts. That was the case with the Birmingham Southern College Panthers in 2012.
Touchdown Panthers!
Act 1 was non-stop action as BSC climbed the national rankings. Act 2 was harder as our heroes found themselves in some tough predicaments. And Act 3 provided a thrilling finale to the story. And ending the climax with the Panthers becoming conference champions. Birmingham Southern entered the 2012 season ranked number 24 in the national D3 poll. On opening day at the Hilltop against LaGrange, head coach Eddie Garfinkel and his Panthers showed why. An early fumble recovery by Robert Nelson Jr. led to a touchdown by sophomore Martin Pratt and a lead that BSC would never relinquish. Senior quarterback Jimmy Stainback provided much of the spark. He accounted for 2 TDs in the air and 1 by his own feet. Senior tailback Sean Morris delivered the afternoon's most exciting play with his catch and run that went 79 yards to the house. Junior Joseph Moultrie capped the Panther scoring with his own big play, a 69-yard touchdown run. It all added up to a dominant debut for the 2012 Panthers. The following week, the Panthers took a trip down the I-65 to face in-state rivals, the Huntington Hawks. Michael Cowan's 46-yard touchdown reception gave the Panthers an early lead. But the Hawks came storming back and took the lead in the second quarter. It was a classic battle for the Wesley Cup as the game featured 5 lead changes. The Panthers finally grabbed control for good when Sean Morris made his way through the Huntington defense with a 69-yard touchdown trot. Speedy Sam Vermelia gave the Hawks secondary fits when he zipped his way 67 yards into the end zone early in the fourth quarter. Then, the defense made a huge stop when it kept Huntington from scoring on 4 downs inside the 5-yard line. The deadly duo of Morris and Joseph Moultrie each ran for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Moultrie's second score was a school record 99-yard TD run. Moultrie's monster dash gave the Panthers what seemed like a comfortable 21-point cushion in the fourth quarter. But the Hawks battled back with 2 touchdowns of their own to pull within 7.
This will probably be the last play of the game for BSC. The Panthers from the Huntington 41.
A year ago, the Panthers scored on a last-second Hail Mary that led to a BSC victory.
Stainback rolling left to buy time. Fires to the end zone. Batted in the air. What happened to it? It was caught! A touchdown! A touchdown!
This year, the Hawks had a chance for payback, but Neil Posey's Hail Mary pass came up short. The Panthers held on and then held up the Wesley Cup. The win over Huntington moved the Panthers' ranking up to 18th in the nation. Next up was a contest against Ave Maria University, where the Hilltop became a volcano, erupting in Panther touchdowns.
There goes Joseph Moultrie into the open field.
Joseph Moultrie's 33-yard touchdown run was just the beginning of a record-breaking day for Birmingham Southern.
Moultrie still on his feet.
The Panthers set a school record for most points scored in a game as they crossed the goal line 9 times. And they amassed 408 rushing yards, another school record.
Sean Morris into the end zone as he helicopters across the goal line. Touchdown Panthers.
The star of the game was tailback Isaac Nichols.
There he goes, Isaac Nichols across the 30. And he's still on his feet.
The sophomore from Rome, Georgia, was a Roman soldier, marching through the Ave Maria defense with over 200 total yards and 4 touchdowns.
He's got a block, good block from Tyler Johnson, and there goes Isaac Nichols. One man to beat. Isaac Nichols is a touchdown machine today.
It seemed the Panthers' explosive offense was exploding the entire 2012 campaign. BSC scored its most points in a season since football returned to the Hilltop. The Panthers were second in the conference in total offense and led in both 3rd and 4th down conversions.
Gonna keep it.
Directing the offense again this year was senior QB Jimmy Stainback, who was named second team All-Conference.
throw. He came down with it.
Also making all-conference second team was senior wideout Aaron Sherrill. Fellow wide receiver Sam Vermiglia finished 5th in the conference in yards and 2nd in touchdowns, and thus made all-conference honorable mention. Sean Morris was once again the offensive juggernaut for the Panthers. Morris led the conference in rushing, racking up over 1,000 yards and being named all-conference first team.
Sean Morris, beautiful spin at the line of scrimmage. Morris across midfield.
Joining Morris in the first team all-conference backfield was his own teammate, Joseph Moultrie. The junior from Birmingham had a breakout year in 2012. He was 5th in the conference in rushing, 2nd in rushing touchdowns, and 1st in yards per carry.
He is touchdown Panthers. Moultrie gonna keep it. There goes Jomo.
However, Morris and Moultrie would never have had a great year if it were not for the stellar Panther offensive line. Senior Drew Reese drew rave notices and was named first team all-conference. Alex Miller was also exceptional to the running game. He too was voted first team all-conference. The story of the first 3 games of the season was an offense that averaged nearly 50 points an outing. But in a Week 4 contest in Memphis against Rhodes, it was all about the Panthers' defense. 3 times in the game, the Lynx had first and goal. And 3 times they came up empty, thanks to BSE's stifling defense. 1 time, the Panthers forced a fumble. On another series, a huge goal line stand denied Rhodes a critical touchdown. The Panthers also had 4 sacks, including 2 by Nick Gordon. Meanwhile, the offense did just enough to keep Birmingham Southern undefeated. Sean Morris's Wildcat 1-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter sealed the victory in the Panthers' first game in the newly formed Southern Athletic Association Conference. It was another school record-breaking game for the offense when they returned to the Hilltop to face Austin. Record number 1, Jimmy Stainback's 3 touchdown passes in 1 game. Records number 2 and 3, Sam Vermiglia's 83-yard reception and 153 receiving yards on the day.
One man to beat. He's gone.
Record number 4, Joseph Moultrie's coast-to-coast 100-yard kickoff return.
1 yard deep in the end zone. Finds a seam. There goes Joe Moultrie. Jomo is on the go. 100-yard touchdown from Joseph Moultrie. Tyler Johnson on the screen. Tyler Johnson into the end zone.
Plus, the man from Milton, Tyler Johnson, had 2 scores, including a scintillating 74-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Johnson across midfield. Gets a block. Touchdown Panthers!
All these records contributed to another dominating performance for the Panthers. The win moved BSC to number 15 in the D3 poll. Birmingham Southern made its first trip to the Northeast when it faced the 6th-ranked Wesley Wolverines in Dover, Delaware. The Panthers fired the first shot with Aaron Sherrill's spectacular catch and run that went 57 yards right into the end zone. Then, later in the first quarter, an errant Wolverine snap sent the ball seemingly on a path towards the famed Dover International Speedway. Instead, it was recovered by Nick Gordon. This led to a Ryan Laughlin field goal and a 10-point Panther lead. Unfortunately, the lead wouldn't last, as Wesley scored 16 unanswered points in the second quarter to take a 6-point lead into halftime. However, the Panthers opened the second half with an impressive 16-play, 77-yard drive that ate up nearly 8.5 minutes. It culminated with Joseph Moultrie's 3-yard touchdown run that regained the lead for Birmingham Southern. The Panthers continued to battle the Wolverines with some tough defense, but a fourth-quarter touchdown secured the victory for Wesley. While on the subject of tough defense, BSC had plenty of it in 2012. The Panthers swarmed opponents and, consequently, ranked second in the SAA in total defense.
And it's picked picked up by Birmingham Southern. Andrew Armour, the senior. Nobody's gonna get him. Touchdown, Panthers.
Leading the charge was safety Andrew Shannon. The senior led the team in tackles and punished offenses. And for the second straight year, he made the first team all-conference.
Pass over the middle. That one's picked off by Andrew Shannon.
Joining Shannon on the first team was the senior defensive end from Trussville, Corey Corcoran. Also garnering first-team all-conference honors was linebacker Austin Hanson. The future looks bright for the sophomore, who was second on the team in tackles. Fellow linebacker Nick Gordon earned an all-conference first-team nod as well. He was third in tackles and led the team in sacks. Tying Gordon for the sack lead was Zach Lambert. The senior defensive tackle was named to the second team all-conference. He'll be forever known on the hilltop as Sack Lambert. Another second team all-conference honoree was defensive back Ty Keenum. The sophomore was sixth on the team in tackles while grabbing 2 picks as well. And opposing players were always wary when encountering senior defensive back Jeffrey Steele. When fans would encourage players to hit somebody, he took it to heart.
Gonna pitch. Beautiful play, Jeffrey Steele.
The loss to Wesley was the first of 3 defeats in a row for the Panthers. The second act of their season was brutal and forgettable. However, just like in the movies, second acts do not end the story. Act 3 is the time for redemption and action.
Don't have to say much. Hopefully you guys understand how to get ready to play a football game. You've gotten ready to play a football game. You go out there and play the game the way it's supposed to be played, the way we coached you. That's what we're looking for today.
The Panthers knew that if they won their final 2 games, they would capture the conference championship. But it wasn't going to be easy. First up was a trip to Kentucky to take on the 6-2 Center College Colonels. BSC had never beaten Center, but it didn't take long for the Panthers to strike. Michael Cowan's 45-yard touchdown reception was the first page in the Panthers' third act. Joseph Moultrie put BSC up 14-zip in the first quarter with a 7-yard touchdown. Center would never rebound. Trampled under the feet of Sean Morris, who accounted for nearly 250 yards of offense himself. There was also the arm of Jimmy Stainback, who had one of the best games in his Panther career, throwing for 313 yards and 3 touchdowns. In fact, the Panther offense was clicking on all cylinders, accumulating an even 600 yards of total offense. Meanwhile, the suffocating Panther defense did its part by intercepting 3 Colonel passes and limiting Center to just 2 scores. A huge road win against a formidable foe. The first challenge in Act 3 was now complete. It was very clear what needed to happen when the Panthers ran onto Harper Davis Field at Millsaps College, beat the Majors, and the conference championship was theirs. The Panther coaching staff knew the best way to accomplish this feat was to run, and run, and run. The Panthers pounded the rock, gaining a school record 426 yards on the ground against Millsaps. Fittingly, Sean Morris, playing in his final game as a Panther, led the way. Morris rushed for 255 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. Birmingham Southern piled up the points in the first half. And then the defense closed the door on the Majors. When Jimmy Stainback took a knee, the third act in Birmingham Southern's season had come to a successful conclusion. The first football championship in the Southern Athletic Association belonged to the Panthers. Head coach Eddie Garfinkel and his staff and players had reached the promised land of a conference championship.
So a lot of character, a lot to come back after kind of a little mid-season deal we went through, okay? So real proud of the character and all that type of thing. You seniors, we overcame a lot, okay? And just real proud of the way you guys came out in the last couple games and won the first championship. Yeah!
the 2012 Birmingham Southern Panthers will occupy a permanent place in Hilltop history. A thrilling season made up of 3 acts brought out the fortitude and competitive spirit in every player.
Pass over the middle. That one's picked off by Andrew Shannon.
It was these qualities that made the Panthers conference champions.